Hello everyone, here is Radovan from BSS. Setting up network using NetworkManager command line interface nmcli. If you don't know how to set up network, you will not be able to pass your RHCSA exam because another tasks depends on successful network configuration. NetworkManager is preferred network configuration method by Red Hat. Today, I will show you how to set up static IP address, default gateway, netmask and DNS servers in Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7 using NetworkManager command line interface nmcli. On your exam, you may already have a NetworkManager connection on the server. In case if you don't have any NetworkManager connection on your exam, you can add new NetworkManager connection. To add new NetworkManager connection, please use commands nmcli con for connection or nmcli connection add con -name rhcsa_1 where rhcsa_1 is name of the NetworkManager connection, ifname ETH0 where ETH0 is network device, type Ethernet, IP4, IP address / network prefix. Please don't forget to add network prefix, otherwise network prefix will be automatically set to /32, GW4 and the address of your default gateway. Then another command nmcli con mod for connection modify, name of the connection which is rhcsa_1 in our case, IPv, in this case of modifying we use IPv with v 4.dns and your DNS servers separated by space in double quotes. Then please nmcli con mod, name of the connection which is rhcsa_1, IPv4.method manual for manual type of connection, not DHCP automatic network configuration. Then another command is nmcli con mod rhcsa_1 connection.autoconnect. Yes, which means that we want to connect our connection automatically after reboot. You can also add additional DNS servers with nmcli con mod rhcsa_1, which is name of our NetworkManager connection, plus IPv4.dns and DNS server. So plus means that we want to add additional DNS server. So please, in case if you are adding connection, use IP4 parameter, and in case if you are modifying connection, please use IPv4 parameter. After you have added new NetworkManager connection, please activate this NetworkManager connection with nmcli con app rhcsa_1 where rhcsa_1 is name of the new connection. Now you can verify your new NetworkManager connection with nmcli con show rhcsa_1 command where rhcsa_1 is name of the connection. You can also verify if /etc/resolv.conf file was updated with new DNS servers. In case if on your exam you already have NetworkManager connection, you can add new NetworkManager connection with exactly the same commands which you use to add NetworkManager connection in case if there is not any NetworkManager connection on the server. So nmcli con add connection name rhcsa_1 ifname ETH0 type Ethernet IP4 and IP address / network prefix GW4 and default gateway, and nmcli con mod connection name IPv4.dns and DNS server separated with space in double quotes, and nmcli con mod connection name IPv4.method manual to set network connection type to manual, not automatic. not DHCP connection. Then nmcli conmod connection name connection.autoconnect. Yes, to activate connection automatically after startup. Once you have added new NetworkManager connection, you have to activate that NetworkManager connection with nmcli con_app and connection name. You can also disable old NetworkManager connection to automatically connect during system startup with nmcli conmod connection name connection.autoconnect now. This is optional and you are doing it if you don't want this old connection to automatically connect in future. For example, when you remove your new NetworkManager connection, then your old NetworkManager connection will be automatically connected if there is not any other NetworkManager connection with higher priority. So for example, if you have two NetworkManager connections, old one and new one, and you remove new one, then old connection will be connected automatically if connection.autoconnect option is set to yes. Name of default connection on your RHCSA exam can be something like system space ETH0 or simply ETH0, or it can be something like Ethernet connection 1. Please check description of this video where you will find link to another video tutorial where is explanation why on your RHCSA exam name of the network device will be ETH0 and not something like EN01, ENP2 as 0, EN as 9 or something similar. Now you can check NetworkManager connections and verify new NetworkManager connection with commands nmcli con show, which will show you NetworkManager connections, or nmcli con show ---- active, which will show you only active NetworkManager connections, or nmcli con show RHCSA_1, which is name of the connection, which will show you details and configuration only of specified NetworkManager connection, in our case RHCSA_1. Optional step here is also to remove old unwanted NetworkManager connection with nmcli con del and name of the connection, which can be for example system space ETH0 on your exam. Name of the connection must be in double quotes if there is blank space or some special character in the name of the connection. So, if you have already existing connection on your exam, you can add new connection and remove old one, or you can simply add new connection and activate it. But you can also edit already existing NetworkManager connection with command nmcli conmod name of the connection IPv4.addresses and IP address / network prefix, which is 24 in our case. If you forget to specify network prefix, it will be automatically set to /32. Then nmcli conmod name of the connection IPv4.gateway and gateway IP address. Then nmcli conmod system ETH0, which is name of the connection IPv4.DNS and your DNS servers separated by space in double quotes. Then nmcli conmod name of the connection IPv4.method manual for static IP address, static network configuration, not automatic DHCP network configuration. Then nmcli conmod name of the connection connection.autoconnect. Yes, to activate connection automatically after reboot. Once this connection was modified, you need to activate your modified NetworkManager connection with nmcli con_app and name of the connection. Once connection was activated, it will pick up your new configuration which you have just set. To verify updated NetworkManager connection, run command nmcli con show and name of the connection. Note that you can also add more IP addresses to your NetworkManager connection with command nmcli conmod name of the connection plus IPv4.addresses and IP address /network prefix. You can also configure network using network interface configuration files and NetworkManager. So you can modify existing NetworkManager connection with simply modifying ifcfg minus connection name file in /etc/sysconfig/network minus scripts directory. Once this file is updated, you need to run commands nmcli con reload and then nmcli con down and connection name and nmcli con up connection name. So interface configuration files in /etc/sysconfig/network minus scripts directory are still working and you can still use them. Please note, if you are connected remotely to server using NetworkManager connection which you are updating, please don't run nmcli connection down command because you will not get a chance to activate that NetworkManager connection because you will be kicked off from the server. Instead of that, you can use something like nmcli con down and connection name and ampersand nmcli con up connection name. Ampersand should run second command just after first command was successfully finished, or you can still use systemctl restart network command. It is very difficult to remember all of these nmcli commands, so please use nmcli man pages, for example man nmcli, but most important man page is man nmcli minus examples, where you will see detailed step-by-step examples for various network configuration settings. To check IP address, please use IPA command. To verify your default gateway, please use IPR command. To verify DNS server's configuration, please use dig command. For example, dig-redhat.com. Please note that you need to install bind-utils package for dig command. Of course, you can also try to ping remote server, ping redhat.com for example. Some useful nmcli commands are, for example, to see a list of network devices and their state, please use nmcli dev or nmcli dev status command. To see detailed information about devices, run nmcli dev show about all devices or nmcli dev show device for detailed information about particular device. To bring down interface and temporarily disable autoconnect, use command nmcli dev this device name. To connect the device back, please use nmcli dev con device name. To disable all manage interfaces, please use command nmcli net off. To enable all manage interfaces, please use command nmcli net on. To turn off Wi-Fi, for example, use nmcli r Wi-Fi off. Please check description of this video where you will find links to another RHCSA video tutorials and another interesting video tutorials. In this hands-on presentation I will show you how to set up IP address netmask gateway primary and secondary DNS servers using NetworkManager command line interface nmcli in Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7. In your RHCSA exam, you may have or may not have NetworkManager connection present already on the server. nmcli con show will show you NetworkManager connections. You can see that we already have one NetworkManager connection on our server called Ethernet connection 1. You may not have this connection on your RHCSA exam, or you may have some connection with a different name, but that's no problem if you have one or if you don't have one, because the steps which I will show you, you can use in both of scenarios. So, first, before we will add new connection, we need to check what Ethernet device we have on our server. We can do that with IPA command. So here you see that we have Ethernet device ETH0 with the IP address which was obtained from DHCP server. In your RHCSA exam you will have Ethernet interface called also ETH0 because you will use KVM virtual machine with VirtIO Ethernet interface. You can use also nmcli dev command which will show you your device, Ethernet device as well. So to find Ethernet device, please use nmcli dev or IPA command. So we are going to add our new network manager connection, nmcli con add con name rhcsa_1 ifname. So we know that ifname is ETH0. Type Ethernet IP 172.16.99.204/24. It is very important to add network prefix here, which is /24 in our case. If you don't specify network prefix here, it will be automatically set to /32, which doesn't make sense. If you have difficulties to transform netmask to network prefix, please check description of this video where you will find link to ipcalc command, which is very useful and easy to use tool to transform netmask to network prefix or network prefix to netmask. Now our gateway GW4 is 172.16.99.1. So our connection name rhcsa_1 was successfully added. Now we need to add DNS servers. So nmcli con mod. You doesn't have to put double quotes to name of your connection if name of your connection doesn't contain some spaces or some special characters. So rhcsa_1 IPv4.dns, and our DNS servers will be 8.8.8.8, which is Google DNS server, and 208.67.222.222, which is Open DNS server. So you can see here that now when we are modifying already existing connection, we don't use option or argument IP4, but we use IPv4. So when you are adding new connection, you use IP4 argument, and when you are modifying already existing connection, you use IPv4 argument. Now we want to set method of our connection to manual, so not automatic DHCP. So nmcli con mod rhcsa_1 IPv4.method manual. And now we want to set our connection to automatically connect after reboot. So connection.autoconnect, yes. So nmcli con mod rhcsa_1 connection.autoconnect. Yes, we already have active connection on our server, that default connection Ethernet connection 1, so we need to activate our new connection rhcsa_1, so we will use nmcli con app rhcsa_1, and now we can see that our new connection was successfully activated. So we will use nmcli dev status command, and we can see that our rhcsa_1 connection is connected. We can use also nmcli con show active command to confirm that our rhcsa_1 connection is connected. So now we can double check our IP address, and we can see that our IP address is 172.16.99.204/24, which is exactly the IP address which we have configured. And our gateway, we can check it with IPR command, and we can see that our gateway is 172.16.99.1, which is exactly the gateway which we set. And we can verify our DNS servers. Cat etc resolv.conf file, and we can see that our etc resolv.conf file was updated with our DNS servers, Google DNS server and Open DNS server. We can add third DNS server using nmcli con mod, because we are modifying already existing connection. So nmcli con mod, and the name of the connection rhcsa_1, and another additional DNS server, so plus IPv, because we are modifying, so IPv4.dns, and the additional DNS server will be 8.8.4.4, so another Google DNS server. Now, to pick up these changes, we need to bring NetworkManager connection up, so reactivate. So if you double check etc resolv.conf, you don't see it updated with additional DNS server, but when we activate our connection, nmcli con up rhcsa_1 connection, then our etc resolv.conf will be updated, so we can see here additional DNS server. Now it is not mandatory, but for, let's say, good practice, you can modify already existing connection, which was default connection on the server, to not automatically start after reboot, because you don't want anytime in future this connection to be activated. Maybe you want, maybe you don't, but if you don't plan to have this connection active sometimes in future, let's say when you remove rhcsa_1 connection, please disable its autoconnect. So nmcli con mod, and the name of our connection, we saw it at the very beginning, that is Ethernet connection 1, and the connection.autoconnect will be now connection.autoconnect now. So now what we can do, we can double check our rhcsa_1 connection. So nmcli con show rhcsa_1 connection, and we can see here that autoconnect is set to yes, and IPv4 method is manual. Then you can see here all three DNS servers, and you can see here our IP address and our default gateway. So this connection was set up very successfully. So now we have two connections, nmcli con show. We have two connections, Ethernet connection 1 and rhcsa_1. So you can add new connection in case if you don't have any connection on your rhcsa exam, or if you have already had one connection on your server, you can add second NetworkManager connection and activate new second NetworkManager connection. But you can also modify already existing NetworkManager connection which you have on the server. You can modify IP address and netmask and DNS servers and network configuration So I'm going to show you now how to modify already existing connection on the server. So first thing which I will do, I will remove NetworkManager connection which we have just configured. So nmcli con del rhcsa_1. So I have deleted rhcsa_1 connection. So now we can double check our connection nmcli connection show cs or connection show or everything works here. So nmcli cs, and you can see that we have only one NetworkManager connection, which is Ethernet connection 1. nmcli dev status will show you our Ethernet devices, and you can see that ETH0 is disconnected. nmcli con show active will show you that we have not any active connection. So IPA command doesn't return any IP address. So now we are going to modify the first default NetworkManager connection, nmcli con show. So we are going to modify Ethernet connection 1 and assign it our IP address and default gateway and DNS servers. So we will use command nmcli con mod to modify Ethernet connection 1, Ethernet connection 1 and IPv4 addresses. So IPv, in this case v because we are modifying IPv4 dot addresses, and our IP address will be 172.16.99.204/24. We cannot forget /24 again, it's very important, otherwise network prefix will be set to /32. Now we are going to add default gateway nmcli con mod IPv4.gateway IPv4.gateway, which is 172.16.99.1. I forgot name of the connection, so mod Ethernet connection 1. So we modified default gateway. Now we will add our DNS server. So nmcli con mod Ethernet connection 1. IPv4.dns, IPv4.dns, and our DNS servers will be 8.8.8.8 and open DNS server 208.67.222.222. And now we will set NetworkManager connection method to manual. nmcli con mod Ethernet connection 1 IPv4.method manual, IPv4.method manual, and we will set Ethernet connection 1 to automatically connect after reboot. So nmcli con mod Ethernet connection 1 connection.autoconnect connection.autoconnect. Yes. So now we have modified our default Ethernet connection 1, but to system pickup changes, we need to bring this connection up, nmcli con up, Ethernet connection 1, and now our new IP address will be 172.16.99.204/24, which is IP address which we have just configured, and default gateway 172.16.99.1, and we can also verify our DNS servers with a dict command. To use dict command, we have to have installed bind utils package. So yum install bind utils package, yes, and dig redhat.conf, for example, and we can see in answer section IP address of redhat.com, and we can see that this IP address was provided to us from DNS server 8.8.8.8, which is Google DNS server, which we have configured to our primary DNS server. We can also ping redhat.com, and we can see that redhat.com is pingable. So we have successfully modified our connection, Ethernet connection 1, which was default NetworkManager connection. Now what we can do, we can double check our Ethernet connection 1 connection if it was modified correctly. nmcli con show Ethernet connection 1, and we can see that the connection is autoconnect, and that method is manual. Then you can see primary and secondary DNS server, and the IP address, and the default gateway. Please note that we can also add more IP addresses to one connection, so we can add another IP address to our already existing connection. So we will use nmcli con mod Ethernet connection 1 plus IPv4 addresses, and for example 10.100.1.99 and network prefix /24, for example. And now if we activate our network connection, we should pick up our second IP address, nmcli con up Ethernet connection 1. And now if we check IPA command, we see that our second IP address was added to our Ethernet device ETH0. Now we can also change IP address and network configuration using network interface configuration files. So cd etc sysconfig/network scripts, and check for our Ethernet connection 1 interface configuration file. So vi ifcfg Ethernet connection 1 file, and we can, for example, remove our second IP address, which we have just added before a while, and we can change our IP address from 172.16.99.204 to, for example, 172.16.99. let's say 55, and we can also change our primary DNS server to 8.8.4.4 So now, when we modified our network interface configuration file for network connection, Ethernet connection 1, we have to reload connection nmcli con reload. And we have to deactivate and then activate network connection, Ethernet connection 1, nmcli con down Ethernet connection 1 and nmcli con up Ethernet connection 1. And now when we check our IP address with IPA command, we can see that our IP address is 172.16.99.55, which we have just set using network interface configuration file, and our DNS servers are cat etc resolv.conf 8.8.4.4, so we can see that our primary DNS server is 8.8.4.4, which we have just set using network interface configuration file. It is not easy to memorize all nmcli commands, so we can use man pages, man nmcli, and man nmcli minus examples. So for example, man nmcli will show us man pages for NetworkManager command line interface tool. So we see some options like, for example, -t for terse or -p for pretty. I will show you what those mean. So nmcli -p for pretty con show Ethernet connection 1, and we can see all those lines which make output more pretty. Or nmcli -t for terse, in case if we require nmcli as part of some script. Then we can see here object general and for example command hostname. So nmcli general hostname will show you hostname of our server. Or for example networking object and commands on/off, which I will show you later, which are useful for turning off and turning on networking. At the very end we have some examples. So at the very end we have some examples like, for example, nmcli radio Wi-Fi off, which is useful for switch Wi-Fi off. Or we can see here commands which we have used in our presentation. For example, nmcli connection show or nmcli connection show -- active, which lists all currently active connections. We can see here also command nmcli connection show -- show secrets and my home Wi-Fi, which is name of the wireless connection, and this will show you password for your Wi-Fi access point. We can see here, for example, command nmcli dev disconnect em2, which will disconnect Ethernet interface em2. I will show you this command later. Or we can see here commands to modify IP addresses and adding DNS server. At the bottom of the screen you can see nmcli con mod em-1 ipv4.method manual and ipv4.addr, where we are adding IP addresses and gateway, and also you can see here nmcli con modify abc, where ABC is name of the connection, plus IPv4.dns command where we are adding DNS server 8.8.8.8, and we have already used such a command. Another very useful man page is nmcli-examples. Man nmcli-examples, where you have 12 examples, and the first example, example 1, listing available Wi-Fi wireless access points, can be useful in your home at your home laptop. Second example, showing general information and properties for a Wi-Fi interface, can be also used at home on your home laptop. Then, for example, example 7, adding a team master and 2 slave connection profiles. So nmcli con at type team and so on, and nmcli con at type team minus slave and so on. This example, adding a team master and 2 slave connection profiles, is very useful example for RHCE exam, where creating a team is RHCE exam question. Also, example 8, adding a bridge and 2 slave profiles, is RHCE topic. Example 9, adding an Ethernet connection profile with manual IP configuration, is the most important example for us for RHCSA exam. This is exactly method which we were using. So nmcli con at con minus name and connection name, ifname, and interface name type Ethernet IP4 GW4. That is command which we have used in our presentation. Also command to add DNS servers or add additional DNS server. So this example, example number 9, is most important to RHCSA exam. Then there's also another 3 examples. Now I will show you 4 commands how to turn off and turn on networking, and the command how to disconnect and connect Ethernet interface. So IPA, we can see that our IP address is 172.16.99.55 for Ethernet interface ETH0. When we wanna disconnect this interface, we use nmcli dev this ETH0, and we disconnected this Ethernet device. So IPA command will not return any IP address for Ethernet interface ETH0. When we wanna connect this device back, we will use nmcli dev con ETH0, and now our ETH0 device interface was successfully connected, and the IPA command will show you our IP address for Ethernet interface ETH0, which is 172.16.99.55. We can also turn networking off using nmcli net off command. So our network was turned off, and we don't see any IP address for ETH0 interface again, and we can bring our networking on with nmcli net on, and now we see our IP address back for ETH0 interface. Please check description of this video where you will find links to another RHCSA video tutorials and another useful video tutorials. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave questions and comments below, like my video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.